And again, I am late to a topic, or multiple topics as it is, I'll be discussing today. And yeah, it's been a week. It's been a week, I think, since that crazy Champions League games all started, and the whole week itself was crazy. Even before then, you had the Leicester versus Manchester City game that was penultimate games, and then we have the final games we just had a couple of days ago. The Premier League season is now wrapped up, but we know what the final of Champions League is going to be, to much of everyone's surprise, really. I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna. Of course, you have to admit that Tottenham beating Ajax after going 3-0 down at half time. That's ridiculous, man. I'm going out of order. Let me start on the Liverpool v Barcelona. I was saying anything can happen in football. Anything. You always have that in the back of your mind. Football is a brilliant sport, but this week just reminded us all why football's brilliant. And it pains me as a Man U fan to not be really relevant in this conversation. All the English clubs have made it to Europa League final and Champions League final, but what do we have to show for it? But of course, it's not about Manchester United. I wish I could enjoy this last week more, but when it's your rivals Liverpool just utterly dismantling a team that effed us up after going down 3-0. But even then, when they went down 3-0 in the first leg, I think many would agree that Barcelona weren't going into first gear, really. And you weren't quite sure when they would do so. Let me sort out my camera. But while I do that, let me just talk. Because really, it's just the Messi and the Messi show. Really. Yeah, it's the Messi show, isn't it? It is. Because he creates from the centre mid. He was giving chances. He set up that Suarez goal. Suarez did well to stick a leg out in the first leg. He got the 3 goals. He got the free kick. Liverpool had so many chances, including that Mo Salah open goal one. It was a sort of an open goal, you know what I mean? Hit the bar, extremely unlucky. Another day, Liverpool would have gave them a run for their money. But it's that last chance when it was, when of course Liverpool, they're going down 3-0, they have to get that last away goal. They get countered. Messi has the chance to score himself. He passes it to Dembele. Basically sweats it to Dembele in a better position. Last minute of the game, 4 goals will surely seal it. It's an easy goal for Dembele, a player of his caliber that we know he has talent, but he fluffs it. And Messi's okay. They've just won the game, and Messi's quite upset with that chance because they knew in Champions League games you need to take your chances, every single one, even if you're going down 3-0. And it's just insane. It's just Messi's the only one who seems to have the ruthlessness in his veins, and he can't carry a team by himself. And this second leg proved it. It really is. I was quite disappointed that we couldn't do something. I think if Rashford scored that early chance against Barcelona, I've said this in multiple videos. Like, comment, subscribe, share, as always. Yeah, as I said in that video, if Rashford scores that early chance, who knows what would have happened. But Barcelona were allowed to be comfortable against a great Liverpool team in a mental atmosphere, especially on European nights. And they bottled it. But they bottled it based on their previous instances of not actually being the best Barcelona team there is, really. Let's be honest. The league is not the most competitive league this year. Real Madrid's doing bad, so Barcelona's naturally the only one good enough to win the league there. No offense, but yeah, that's the case. And Origi, who would have thought? He starts ahead of Firmino because Firmino's injured, Salah's injured. That made the task, to be fair to Liverpool, much more harder to obtain and that much more unbelievable to people. But they did it. They fully did it. It's been a week. I should have made this video ages ago, but yeah, I'm forgetting details here. I think Origi scored first. Yeah. Henderson got through. Henderson was insane in the first half of that game. He was running like a mad dog, but at the back of your head, well, not the back of my head, but he was going a bit too crazy. But you could saw the passion. You see him closing down everyone. He was the main one doing it. He led by example, and everyone else was doing the Gangen pressers Jurgen Klopp likes to use, but this was a whole nother level, amplified by the fans. Henderson was on a mad one. He nearly got himself sent off. I was fearful that he would get himself sent off, but he controlled it throughout the game. Like, Liverpool controlled their chances. They had to score 3 to 4 goals to win the game, to at least equalise, and they spaced it out perfectly. Didn't want to waste too much energy at the start, as I thought they would. But Henderson gets that chance. Unfortunately, not the best shot, but it falls to Origi. A bit of luck, but that's what they need. That's what they deserve. That's what they deserve, unfortunately. And I was just there like, surely not. Surely not. They can't be doing this. But it could happen. They really wanted to. They really wanted to measure up to Istanbul. They really wanted to show what they're made of. Jurgen Klopp, you gotta give more respect to the guy. Of course, it makes me. It's hard not to banter them about trophies. Obviously, of course, I'm a Man U fan, but when they're playing such good football and playing with such desire and belief and passion, you just gotta sit there and reward it, especially against a Barcelona team. I know I just said Barcelona aren't the best team, but they're still Barcelona. You know what I mean? So Origi scores first, but then I think 20 minutes later, no, at the start of the first half, it's 1-0. So you got 45 minutes, still 3-1 to Barcelona over the two legs. Surely not. Barcelona have time to regroup, eh? No. They're just static. They're just no energy. They look older when they're playing. This is the match where they reveal their age. You can tell who's the youngest, brighter, dynamic team. Whereas Barcelona are just going through the motions, thinking they've already won the game. No, they haven't. Wijnaldum scores again. Well, no, he didn't score again. He scores again after. He scores that one where Stegen should have done better. If that was the hair, he would have saved it. But it's fine. People say Ter Stegen's the best goalkeeper. Nah, obviously, but it's just so much power on it, you can't help it. And again, a bit of luck, but again, they deserved it. They were getting the chances in. Shaqiri wasn't the best in the first half, getting a bit sloppy, but he whips it in, and then immediately Wijnaldum scores a header. Sensational head movement like that. It's insane. 3-0. At that point, I'm like, I can't believe this. What the fuck? Why? Why is Liverpool doing this to me? Why are they doing this? They're never gonna shut up about it. But once they equalise, you know they're gonna go fourth. And even when Messi had a couple of chances, Fabinho fouled him at the right time. He's gonna get fouled. Messi needs to get fouled, but you need to get the tactical foul right, and they did that. And who else is gonna perform for Barcelona? Because I didn't see anyone else doing it. Coutinho was rattled, obviously. Suarez is going to be rattled against his former club, and now the fans hate him for some reason after they defended him a lot. What was the last goal? Oh yes, the last goal. How can I forget about the last goal? Sorry guys, I'm just really warm. It's really sunny outside. Trent Alexander-Arnold just mugged off the entire defence with that. Something none of us saw coming. Whether it was improvised with the help of the ball boy, it probably was, you know. But that's the power of the stadium. 12th man, giving but of course a mix of youthfulness. Trent Alexander-Arnold just plays so good for his age. Age doesn't matter anymore. He's always been a good player in my eyes, including Robertson, who unfortunately got injured. But that allowed him to come on. So they got such good backup as well. And yeah, such good backup. Trent Alexander-Arnold. He played the second ball's just gone out of play. The Barcelona players just say they're not quite ready yet. Whips it in, and then Rodriguez scores a top left finish. I don't know if he meant it, but he had to, otherwise PK would have blocked it. But it was so fast they couldn't help it. This was a one-on-one straight away. You have to commend the boy. He's not a boy, he's a man. He's playing like a man. They got such good backup. Shaqiri stepped up in that second half after being a bit sloppy with his passes. Origi stepped up, Wijnaldum stepped up, the young one stepped up. And Nefu. You thought that's it, that's the only comeback that's going to happen. No. Ajax scored 2 goals, brilliant goals, against Tottenham to extend their lead in their own ground in the first half. Delict with a delightful header. Puns galore. And Ziyech with a fantastic curler. He's 26, but he doesn't look like it. Bloody hell. Everyone does that. Even the experienced players were getting amplified by the youthfulness of the other team. not the other team, their own team. That's what Ajax are based on, are built on. And of course, I wanted Ajax to go through. I predicted Ajax to go through just as Barcelona went through. And of course, Ajax. I don't want an all English Champions League final. So that just makes me look, makes Man U just look worse, and it makes me feel worse about that. But I think in this case, Ajax, you can't really like criticize them just like Barcelona. You can criticize them more because Barcelona should know better, whereas Ajax they can't know better. But still, I think the comeback against Ajax should have never happened. Well, should have is least likely to happen. So in that case, you can say Ajax kind of bottled it more so than Barcelona. But I think Barcelona also got exposed. Whereas Ajax, they didn't really get exposed. Their youthfulness got exposed, but we all knew about it. But it was just so good. In that first leg against Tottenham, but of course against Juventus and Real Madrid, they just looked so calm and peaceful. And I think they just got a bit too calm and a bit too caught in two minds. Should the defender go forward? And then Tottenham were just on the ball. While they're thinking of that, Tottenham just have more of the possession, and Lucas Moura is absolute class. He had so much energy in that first leg. He was the only one with the desire and passion to go forward. Well, not the only one in the top squad, obviously, but he was just the bright spark I saw. It was like, if anyone's going to score, it's going to be him. Especially with Kane out. Who else was out? Was Son out as well? Yeah, Heung-min Son was out also. But now Tottenham have really invested in just like how Liverpool invested in players you wouldn't start them in team, but you know they're good players who are gonna just work hard and be a grafter, and when they come on, they do their bit. And I think Lucas Moura has elevated himself to a level that he's proved that he was just a good player in the PSG team that was too good for him. But he deserves to be starting somewhere, and arguably he's probably in a better position to start than Kane, because Kane's injured, but also the Tottenham play better without Kane in my opinion. The dribbling skills, the technicality, but also he outmuscled it through sheer hard work and desire, and that's what loads of pundits be saying. Sometimes tactics go out the window, and I agree with that. When the pure passion and pure belief, and the work that these two clubs have done over the past 3 years with their same manager, with consistently getting better and better and better, and you don't want to throw that away. Don't want to throw it away in one game, because all the players play for the manager, play for Klopp, they play for Poch, they die for them, unlike some other clubs. But yeah, so that's why that plays into it as well. You don't want to throw away that project. You want to keep on going for your manager, but also for yourself, but also for the fans that have loved you for so long consistently, because you're playing consistently well thanks to the manager who's helped you out along the way. And also proving other criticisms wrong, other critics wrong. Wow, it'd be fascinating to see. It would be fascinating to see like what was going on at halftime in both clubs. Insane. So yeah, my predictions were wrong, but they were both winning. Ajax and Barcelona were both winning. They should never have done that, but I guess whoever gets through, whoever finishes first in the Premier League, whoever wins anything deserves to win. It's as simple as that. Whether it's through attacking, whether it's through passion, whether it's through defending well, or all of the above, they deserve it. And yeah, it is hard to stomach, more so Liverpool obviously, especially when I predicted Barcelona to beat them as well. Got my predictions wrong for Champions League, but it's such a good. It's probably one of the best Champions League, if not the best Champions League. After Real Madrid went out the equation, there's nobody else to fill in the gap except these four clubs. I'm not saying it's a bad thing; it's a good thing. It makes it more competitive. But we'll see how Real Madrid try to get back to the top. With certain players getting bought, you know who I'm on about. Of course, you have the Europa League final as well, but that's less special, obviously. But it is more special by the fact that it's Arsenal and Chelsea going through. Chelsea looked the worst off. They struggled against Frankfurt, just about got through in penalties, so also should be the favourites, but that's going to be a tight game, just as this Champions League game. Similarly, Liverpool are going to be the favourites, but Tottenham, obviously, it's going to be a close game once again. I might do a prediction video before those games, because we're a couple of weeks off yet, so yeah, be sure to stay tuned for that one. But finally, before I go, I'm just going to talk about that, of course, the Champions League finale. The last bit of excitement in this last week, of course, Leicester. The penultimate game was Man City versus Leicester, and you could say that was the last chance for any team to steal points away from Man City, because Brighton, the people weren't obviously confident that they were gonna do something, because Leicester have got so many better players. They're much higher in the table. Brighton are fighting for relegation, or were fighting for relegation. Yes, they stayed up just about. But yeah, so Leicester versus Man City were the perfect. Let's just say Liverpool were more hopeful that something could happen there. But in the Etihad, they're just untouchable. Doesn't matter if there's empty seats. Company is a baller. He's a class captain, and he's had this 40-yard scream in his mind apparently, and he bloody did it. He bloody did it, and sometimes that's all you need. Just one piece of magic in 90 minutes. Of course, on Twitter, it doesn't stop Twitter from faking out that Leicester scored. Oh, Vardy scored last minute. No, he didn't. You're just trolling me. You're trying to make my heart stop. Make me think Liverpool are going to win the league. No. No. Yeah, it was just it's just weird. It's just like, if there's one thing, one thing that I think could have been better in this title race was the dates at which the games are played. I think I can't be asked for all this. Oh, Liverpool and Man City win, and Liverpool and Man City win. Because it's cool that it's close, but it's a bit annoying. I want to see them play at the same time a lot more times this season. They only did so like the only time I remember is the other day when it was the last day of the season, which obviously they have to do that because that's just excitement 101. But they should have done that for the whole season. They used to do it like that, but of course I think it's like TV money or something like that. I don't know how schedules work, but of course the last day of the season they had to do it like that. And oh boy, did it give me a right scare when Glenn Murray bloody pulled it out the bag. Bloody hell, Glenn Murray. He's an underrated guy. I think he's really good at getting the goals when he needs to, even though his hold-up play can be a bit questionable, and it proved to be detrimental. But of course, Man City, they're just if you score against them, they'll just turn right back up again, and they're machines. Guardiola is a machine that builds machines, but of course the cost of those machines are really high always. Oil money. But yeah, I wanted Man City to win. I predicted Man City to win, so obviously that prediction was right. But it's always hard picking between Man City and Liverpool, two of the Man U's rivals, obviously, especially when we're losing games to Cardiff. But it's just so much more interesting to see the title race. This title race has been exciting, to be fair. Margins decide a lot, as I've said in previous games. But it was that one game against Liverpool and Man City. If Liverpool wanted to win the league, they had to beat the champions, and they didn't. Sorry, mate, you didn't. They beat Wolves 2-0. They did their job, to be fair. And you just gotta wait out and see if Brighton can pull up something again. But no, after that goal, Brighton got ahead of themselves, and Man City ran all over them 4-1, as they should, really, with the amount of money invested. That was the reaction of champions, as the BBC Sports said. You have to play well, regardless, but especially when you're such a high pressure moment, you got players where you got to step up. Aguero steps up, Company steps up, and of course, as I said before, in the Champions League games, Liverpool had players that could step up, even whether it's from the sub bench or the first team bench. But you have to admit, Man City's sub bench is just miles ahead of Liverpool's or any other teams. So really Liverpool shouldn't have done what they did in challenging Man City that far. But this title race almost elevated both those teams and trying to make them work as hard as possible for Guardiola to keep this title. Because Guardiola admits himself it's a hard league and it's a hard team to go against. But of course, I think that rivalry really helped strengthen Man City to do what needed to be done. But same for Liverpool as well. They needed to push themselves a lot, but still not won the Premier League. And I think that's for the better. I think that's for the best. Let's be honest. And so with that said, it's been a great season for the neutral in both Champions League and Premier League. If football's such a good game, imagine not liking football, eh? And I know this channel's called Sin on Sports, but football's the main sport, isn't it? It just is. And if you want to see more where that came from, like, comment, subscribe, share. Always appreciate your support. Leave your thoughts on the season down below, or this past week of football. Many would consider this one of the greatest weeks in football, and I can't argue with that right now. So yeah, just let me know what you think, and I'll try to reply to many of what you say if you are up for it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.